It's Wednesday, the 29th of June 2022. Today's top news headlines. Dangerous times. U.S. Muslims organize after fall of Roe. Paris 2015 attacks. Lone surviving attacker gets life, no parole. Hajj booking system changes leave many Muslims disappointed. Texas migrant deaths. Families anxious amid efforts to ID victims. Sudan's economy dominated by military interests. A report. U.S. top court expands state power over native land in Oklahoma. Philippines infrastructure woes in focus as Marcos takes reins. Investors excited by Zimbabwe plan to mint gold to curb inflation. Biden thanks Erdogan for deal on Sweden, Finland NATO entry. Mariupol defenders among over 100 freed in prisoner swap. Israel's outgoing PM Naftali Bennett will not run in next election. BioNTech, Pfizer to start testing next-generation vaccine for coronaviruses. NATO describes Russia as a direct threat to allies' sovereignty. Finland, Sweden get official invite to join NATO after Turkey's consent. International Anatolian Eagle 2022 military exercises continue in Konya. Aegean Islands row. Greece must show wisdom and prudence like Turkey, what say analysts? Climate change may spark conflict in Africa, scientists talk. What is the Zangezur corridor and why does it matter to Eurasia? Who is one of the two Afghans released from Guantanamo Bay? No breakthrough in indirect Iran-US negotiations over nuclear deal, report says. Taming ruble. Russia mulls interventions as rising currency bites exports. Viruses cling onto plastic to survive in freshwater. R. Kelly sentenced to 30 years in sex trafficking case. Most say nation on wrong track, including Dems, AppNork poll. Trump dismissed January 6 threats, wanted to join crowd. Hong Kong in limbo 25 years after British handover to China. Gas lines and scuffles. Sri Lanka faces humanitarian crisis. NATO pivots to highlight Chinese challengers for first time. Why Indonesia's leader is visiting Kyiv, Moscow, explainer tells. Russian forces take out Ukrainian nationalist unit. Biden announces new troop deployments in Europe. Switzerland joins EU sanctions on Russia. Saudi Arabia is partner, Liz Truss says after authoritarian tirade. U.S. pharmacies put limit on contraception purchases. NATO tells Ukraine to fight on. Belgian PM says. Zelensky demands $5 billion from NATO, cites security in Europe. Syria recognizes Donbass republics, state media says. 2 states to join NATO. Boris Johnson's comments on female Putin draw response from Moscow. Russia and West clash at UN Security Council. Russia warns West of consequences of arming Ukraine. World's largest imperial power sponsors calls for Russia to decolonize, and the lack of self-awareness is palpable. Russia warns Norway over conflict in Arctic. Biden unlikely to meet bold Democrat demands after abortion ruling, sources say. Americans look north and south for abortion access in post-Roe world. Companies cut spending. Jobs as outlook grows less certain. Leaders of US, South Korea and Japan agree closer cooperation over North Korea threat.